Question. I don't know.
In this lonely ass world, it's getting colder. I'm not going nowhere if I cannot take my boat there. My mind was bred a little different, yeah, from my own past. If I see heat, why the fuck would I wanna go there? Mama, I make you smile. Mama, your little nigga came from wildin'. Mama, always got in trouble, I was shouted. Mama, now I'm staring at shit. Mama, I'm the pilot. Mama, if I want something, I'ma go get it. Mama, swim with the sharks, piranhas, and fishes. Mama, it's so hard down here, God is my witness. Mama, I know where I'm going. Mama, I'm a fan. It's hard not knowing who is really gonna be there for me. I wish you could be here to see me the day I start touring. Shit be on my mind every second when I'm not recording. I'm waking up conversating with the Lord every morning. I mistakenly took the wrong path, I had to rewind. I fumbled trying to move too fast, I had to keep trying. Growing up, I got in trouble, told myself to keep lying. So much stress be building up, swear I be needing me time.
Good morning to the DMV and the rest of the world. This is your girl Reese, aka the best that ever did it, aka we are here for another installment of the Morning Mac Show, and this is Freaky Friday, y'all. Woo! This is the day that we wait for with bated breath at the end of every week. And today on Freaky Friday, I got a full house. I'm not going to reveal to you what the topic is. If you're watching the post, then you already know what the topic is. But first, I would like to introduce my guests and my cast today. First off, I want to introduce my boy wonder, Molly Mall C-Boss. He's always banging and hanging in with me. And I thank you. We love you, Mr. Molly Mall. Then I want to introduce my girl Friday. Michelle Pucciarelli's in the house. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. Look, we match. Oh my God. I wasn't even trying to match you this morning.
Oh my God.
We look.
How do we do this? How do we do that?
Know.
I saw my boy Phil. Was Phil Page on?
I don't know. I knew he said he was popping on my birthday twin.
Yeah, he on. He just, I guess, left. He about to probably pop back in. But he on.
Because I had to introduce him, and we supposed to have a couple of more guests coming in on the panel so we could talk about what we're going to talk about today. So how was your evening, Michelle? And tell the people what you got going on today.
Well, today I'm actually going to be taking it easy during the day because tonight I'm going to be hosting, and my bestie is going to be coming along at 227 North Henry Street in Old Town Alexandria. It's called G's Night Out, and this G, or some people might say this B, is going to be hosting tonight. Yay!
So they're into or have a fun-filled night.
Oh, and by the way, but it is a late night open mic at 11 o'clock, which means everybody gets to say whatever they feel like saying, however the spirit or mood is, the vibe is, say it. Say what's on your mind and in your heart.
11 o'clock. So that means y'all can go ahead and sleep like a vampire and wake up at 11 o'clock and go on down there and see her. She's going to be hosting and cutting up. So great. That's going to be great.
You are going to be performing. You're going to perform for me, right?
Yeah, at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, I don't know if I just be sitting there going, yay, or somewhere nodding. But yeah, hopefully the bar will be fully stocked. Okay. So I got a first timer on the Morning Mac Show, everybody. I would like to take the time to introduce my good friend and comedic brother. He's a very funny guy, but I'm going to let him tell you about himself, Mr. Phil Page. Good morning, Phil. Oh, did I scare him away? Did I?
No.
Phil, as soon as I say good morning, Phil, he popped out.
Oh, well, he'll be back.
What's wrong with that?
I know he'll be back. He'll be back. And I wasn't kidding when I said he's my birthday twin. I remember we recently found out one Saturday night when we were hanging out that Mr. Philip Page and I are both born on May 25th.
Oh, May 25th.
Yeah, I know who I'm celebrating my birthday with next year.
Philip Page is actually the gentleman that's going to be producing the show on the 15th. I forgot the name of. Oh, is that him? Gotta hurry up and get him before he's gone again. Is he in? Philip, stop slipping out. You popping in and out, Philip. We not having sex, not yet anyway. Phil, say something to the people. Good morning. Phil, am I frozen? Do you have other apps on your thing, Molly? Could you assist him with getting in? I don't know if we're frozen or if he's frozen.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
No, he got bad connection.
Okay, I can hear you now.
There you go. We good.
Okay. Good morning, Phil. Tell the people about yourself, honey. Oh, okay. That's saying a lot. Come on.
Yeah, he probably just get better off watching the show today. He got bad connection. He can't hang with us today.
But I got to make sure he got all his devices closed and all that stuff on it.
Hey, you did that before the show. Hey, Phil, try coming on another device if you can hear it. I'm going to text him in the private chat.
Okay. Okay, that's quite all right. We got a show coming up on the 15th. Michelle, can you tell the people what they are in store for? Because you did this type of venue before when they're talking about the online show.
We are going to have a fantastic show with Mr. Philip Page, who's invited us to do a Zoom comedy show. So we're going to be performing virtually, and I don't have the flyer up. I should send it to Molly. I'm sorry. Philip,
Molly got the flyer.
Prepared.
He has the flyer. But what is a Zoom show like this? You actually did one.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. The Zoom shows are a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. Because I've done the Dat Fam Zoom show, so that's my experience there. And we get to see the comedians. It's like a really cool Zoom. It's a much funner Zoom meeting because I've done a lot of Zoom meetings for work, and actually, you know, what we're doing now is a lot of fun, similar to. So we're just going to have a fun conversation and show off our best selves. Yay, virtually. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's great. And then we don't have to make the long car ride home. You know, I like it. As soon as you can get done rolling on a Zoom comedy show, you got to be dressed from the waist up. You click off, and then you roll into bed and go, night-night.
Yeah, you can do it from the bed.
Oh, wow. So that's going to be fun. Good morning, Phoenix. How are you, my love?
Great day, lovely ladies. Happy Friday.
Happy Freaky Friday, boo. Happy Freaky Friday. You got to put that freak on that Friday.
I'm sorry, happy Freaky Friday.
Happy Freaky
Friday. Where are the gentlemen?
The gentlemen are scared because maybe they'll learn something today.
You think?
The gentlemen are definitely scared, I believe. We're supposed to have Phil Page on the show, Bubaka Al Jenkins. I sent that link to Tracy the comedian. Nobody want to talk about the Big O. Everybody want to get one, but they don't want to talk. Good morning, Slicky Woo Boo. Good morning.
Good morning, Slicky.
Hey, Michelle. Where you riding off to? Hey, Slicky.
Mrs.
Michelle,
Michelle.
where you riding off in the sunset with?
Can she hear me?
Her screen went dark.
I see her.
Oh, there she goes. She came back. Oh, she must have rolled through a spot.
But jeez.
She probably rolled through a spot that kicked her out.
Everybody's rolling through these spots. You can't get the panel. And I look, it must have scared Hakeem off the topic because I was expecting a lion to be here, bro.
Exactly.
And he ain't even in here saying nothing. He ain't getting his King of the Jungle card back. He need to be in on this topic. Look, where you at, Hakeem?
Hey, Molly.
What's up, we keep it going.
We gonna keep it going. Look at him. He ready. You ready, Slicky? You ready?
And I don't think the men either. They presence really.
Yeah.
Because it's about, as always, females, the different type of female orgasms. So I think.
Yeah, but the men need to know how to get them there.
Well, I also, if something, I watched the video.
He was scared and he's trying to come in today.
Oh, look, there he go.
Look, Molly, you know he ain't about to let this one slide.
Hey, King. They said you was scared today, boy. You run.
Oh, really? I was giving y'all a break because y'all can't handle it. Y'all can't handle it.
Here we go. Here we go. Molly, don't be Molly be instigating.
Y'all can't handle the truth.
Good morning, Hakeem. How was your evening?
Oh, it was good. It's all right. You know, got baby girl, so it's gonna be. This is the 12 days a slave here.
Why you say 12 days of slave?
What in the world?
Because she's so daggone demanding and picky.
Who, your daughter?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why. I wonder why, Daddy.
So you raising a Kern?
No, that's Akeisha.
That's what Keisha.
Raising a Keisha. Why, Daddy?
I got me a Keisha too.
It's your fault. It's okay. They be all right.
Yeah, my daughter ain't gonna want to wait in line or nothing.
Look, who you talk? I didn't even do this, and my daughter thinks she's gonna take out the trash. I said, "Little girl, you better grab that bag, go out and knock your behind out." Slicky said he can make you come. Slicky, you know all the moves. Come on.
Oh shit! I must have missed something real heavy there.
He said
he know all the moves. He playing with y'all today.
Richie got a video for us eventually, but the topic is the different types of female orgasms. You know, so I guess we need to know all 10,000 of them.
Wait a minute, I thought it was only 7. It's 10,000?
You thought it was only 7,000?
No, I thought it was only 7 types of
Look, Misha, he said come to the cookout. That's what he's talking about. Come on to dinner.
Hey, stop playing my boy Woo. Don't let
Slicky used to have them girls chasing his behind, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's how you end up in that chair, boy.
They caught him.
That girl said you ain't rolling out nowhere.
You ain't walking out nowhere. What? You walking?
Man, Woo, man.
They didn't want him to walk out the door.
Hey, Misha, stop playing with my man Woo though.
Well, let's watch the video because I watched it and I do have a few comments.
Oh,
I was in bewildered. I was like, oh my gosh.
Why you ain't got a big girl talking? Why you got this little skinny thing talking, Reese?
Because big women usually don't. I mean, they do videos, explaining sexuality, but most of them don't.
Then we doing one, Reese. Right after this show, we doing one.
Yep.
Style.
Going over the different types of female orgasms. And in case you didn't know, we as women are extremely, extremely, extremely lucky that we have a whole array of orgasms available to us. Now, by no means do I want you to get overwhelmed and feel like you have to tick the box for every single orgasm and you have to experience them all, but I'm just laying them all out for you just like a buffet, and then you can pick and choose which one you would like to explore. Before we dive in, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this type of content. It's super, super supportive for me. And let's jump right in. So the first orgasm I'm going to be talking about is the famous clitoral orgasm. This is the orgasm that's received most of the attention and that most women have experienced. It's an orgasm which tends to feel very explosive, very fiery, but generally doesn't last very, very long. I like to think of this one as a volcanic explosion at the level of your genitals. Because the clitoris is largely an external part of your genital anatomy on your vulva, it tends to be the orgasm that most women are most familiar with. But know that there is a whole other range of orgasms available to you. Next, we have the breast and nipple orgasm. These orgasms tend to feel very heart expanding and can be a very connecting experience. Then we have our G-spot orgasm, which has also kind of received quite a bit of fame, not as much as a clitoris, but it's the runner-up. And this orgasm tends to be very releasing. It can be very emotional, and it can also be very juicy because it can be accompanied by squirting. If you're interested in squirting, I have an entire video dedicated to that topic, and I'll link that down below. Now, if you go a little bit deeper, right beyond the G-spot, between the G-spot and your cervix on the anterior wall of your vagina is the A-spot, which stands for anterior fornix. This is one of my favorite areas, and it's actually really not talked about much. But for a lot of women, the A-spot is a lot more sensitive than the G-spot. These orgasms also tend to be very, very wet and juicy. It can also induce squirting, and in general, it feels like a full body opening. If you want to locate your A-spot, you can simply place your fingers inside of your vagina and touch the front wall. And right at the beginning, you'll feel some rigid texture. That's your G-spot. And if you go a little bit deeper, you'll feel more of a soft, spongy texture on the upper wall, and that is your A-spot.
Okay, do you want to play it all the way through, or you can go through all the spats? Because she got named 3. That's so
four. It's 4. Yep.
Yeah, and
4 spots.
This girl gay, is she teaching women how to play with their pussy? Because I'm lost.
Hold on, wait a second.
How that like she gotta be gay or something? Like how she know?
No.
It's weird.
You let the video play.
Well, let's talk about the first 4 that she talked about.
Okay. Because Molly acting up today.
Yeah, this is weird.
Because she talked about the G spot, the titty spot, the
A spot, and the little tissue dig a little.
Yeah, so that was just 3.
Stimulation was the very first one.
Oh yeah.
I did not know. What Misha said, she said, Reese, you are.
Misha acting up. She said, "Are your fingers up because you're counting how many of these variations you have?"
Yes, I'm counting all.
Look, hold on.
4.
Look, hold on. Because Misha said, when we were talking about Sneaky, talking about you walk in, but you roll out. And Sneaky said, no trouble here. All right now. Then he said, she's a robot. And then he said, sounds like that to me. That's not what she's saying. She's telling ladies, if they want to know where they are, go in and check. She's not saying play with you. Hold on.
Hold on. Know where you are.
No, the different spots. No, the different spots in your body.
Orgasm.
She didn't say play with it. She said you can.
I'm saying the whole joint is different types of orgasm. These are to get to orgasm, so she got to play with yourself because it's obvious.
Listen, she's not
get an orgasm. For me, a man can do the nipples. He could do the clitoris.
Yeah, you can teach
him. And he could do the G spot, and he could do the A spot. I didn't know there was an A spot.
Mm-hmm. You never heard of A spot?
And I didn't know that you could come for nipple stimulation. I didn't know.
Yeah, you can. You didn't.
I was like, I ain't never came somebody.
Well, so when you were younger, well, no, you probably didn't. But even when you first started dealing with dudes, because that's usually the first place they go. They like the boobs. So
But I just
usually,
thought that just make your nipples hard. I
no,
didn't know
but
you
if they continue to play with them, you
That,
can.
that because the man ain't caress your body, so you don't know about the stimulation of your breast.
Yeah. So if he usually, especially when you're a certain age, guys usually tend to play with your breast first. They don't always go straight to the vagina. They usually start
right.
at the breast.
But
and
when
kissing.
they would play with the breast, I didn't feel no like, you know, I
Because
like
it probably
my breasts
takes
up,
you.
you know.
It probably takes time because you can use mouth and hands. You can rub it. Okay, one thing about women before we go into it, the reason why there's so many different types of orgasms for women is because we're wired different than men. Men have orgasms too. Now they don't talk about it, but men can come and men have orgasms just like we can. We can come and not orgasm, and you can orgasm. But we're more we're more sensitive or more sensual to things. And because we're the receivers, there are different parts of our bodies that are prone to induce orgasm.
Wow, you're right, because the very first time I got an orgasm, it was because they was doing stimulating more than one part, and I think my mind exploded, and that's how I exploded, because I couldn't concentrate on the feeling in one spot, because he was doing stuff and
Girl,
using.
you weren't supposed to be concentrating. You supposed to be closing them eyes and breathing and enjoying everything.
No,
Amen, amen.
I didn't know what I was
All right,
feeling.
Michelle, come tell us. She playing, girl.
That's what I'm saying. When I first got my first one, I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Because I thought that you had to concentrate on one spot to get an orgasm. So when he was performing cunnilingus and using his fingers and his mouth and tweaking the nipple, and it was like, it was just like my body felt so, and then my mind didn't know what to do.
Hot wired all over the place.
Yeah.
Overloaded.
It overloaded. You're right. You're right. He had a toy. He was doing so much stuff. And I was like, what is you doing? And
You know what?
Like, what's that button for? What's that? Because I didn't go exploring, he went exploring. And my mind,
Correct.
I'm 28 years old, and then my mind just said poof. And I remember I tried to get up and I was shaking. I felt like I wanted to throw up. I was quivering.
Oh, wow.
You wanted to throw up?
Well, if you never experienced, because he did a lot at one time. If you never experienced it and you have so many triggers going off, it can make you nauseous. It can make you nauseous.
That makes sense.
The butterflies were still going, and I was kind of shaking. I was like, what did you do to me?
I have a question. So before that, you had not had an orgasm.
He effed the shit out of you. That's what he did.
I was always told that you can't have a baby unless you have an orgasm. That's not true. I had my son at that time. I was 28. So that means
Mama has orgasms too. Look at that. He's already getting ready to tell Mama.
Look,
he's already getting ready to tell
I'm gonna tell Mama. Look at sis out in the back, y'all. Don't be snitching.
Mama,
I'm gonna tell on you because you started acting up as soon as we started on here, Slicky. Don't be telling. But so clitoral stimulation was the first one. Nipple and breast orgasm.
That works.
G spot and A spot.
Yep.
Now that spongy thing in the back.
So it's go past the ridges, and beyond the ridges is the sponge. Now.
You know what I thought that was? That's how you could tell if you're pregnant or not. Because I was told that when a woman's pregnant, that thing go up and become the plug. I'm not sure.
Girl, the old stories off the chain.
Wait. You're believing the old wives' tales still.
What they say, you're not supposed to go past the ridge because you ain't supposed to get to the cervix.
So let me tell you something. I don't know who told you that. Anyway.
Thank you. I'm gonna mute.
What? Okay.
That's the tightest part.
Yeah.
That's to hurt more. Somebody popping your cervix, you like, what the?
Well, they shouldn't be hitting your cervix. That's gonna be very painful.
Shoot.
Go ahead, Michelle.
I said it could be. It could be very painful for some women.
Yeah, it
But
could
it
be,
sounds
and then it could be great. You know, you just never know.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And every female body is different. And it sounds like to me like I missed a little bit of the conversation. But for me, I think it's great that you're exploring with a partner and you felt these things. But I've explored solo as well and been able to feel these things. And there are different ways. And if you, for me, I've embraced my body. I don't, and again, this, I'm speaking for myself. I've embraced feeling good in all ways on my body. And the reason why I started self love is because I liked the way it felt with a partner and I missed it. And I started
Oh,
reading
okay.
things and I started listening to other women and I started exploring at a young age though because I did have a partner at a young age, probably was like 19, that made me feel good regularly. And when we broke up, that is what, and I'm like, I'm sitting there crying, boo hooing. Oh, poor me. I have no partner anymore to make me feel good. And quite frankly, I wanted to make me feel good. And I listened. I hung out with a lot of dudes. So here's my backstory on why I started practicing my self-love is I hung out with a lot of dudes. And they talked about making themselves feel good all the time. Blah, 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 blah. We don't need no girl. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do whatever. So at that point, that's got me thinking, I'm like, yeah, I know I told women doing the self-love thing with growing up wasn't a good thing. And ooh, she's a freaky woman when she does that. But why do guys get to have all the good self-love time? And when women talk about doing it, she's like, ooh, she's freaky. She touching herself. No, I'm jerking off just like a guy does. And except I'm admitting it because I want to feel good too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, am I being
That was,
too, is it too
I say
direct?
that's the thing.
But
People want how to play with themselves. You hit it right on the
again,
point.
it's not for everybody, right?
But
It's not for
Molly,
everybody.
hold on. What
Mhm.
is the issue with a woman doing that?
Nothing. It's just weird because they keep saying that these different type of ways to have an orgasm when that's a lie. It ain't no if you click this way, if you pull the nipple, this and that. All that sound cute, but it all come from the mind. It's mental.
Thank you.
If you by
Mm-hmm.
yourself, you thinking of shit. You got to think of something to get you off. It always comes from the mental. So if you with somebody you not physically, attracted to in your mind, that's why we say I had to keep think it's the mind, it's the mental. So if you're
Yeah.
not attracted to your mind, not really want to be here, you can be somewhere else. You think somebody raping you and they do those things to you, or you gonna have all these amazing orgasms? Fuck no,
Right.
you fucked
Mm-hmm.
up.
Mhm.
But
So it's all in the mental.
sometimes your body reacts,
Yeah.
and so you can't help that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Even if you're not thinking about, you can touch yourself and be aroused, and somebody else can touch you, like you said. Even if you're being raped, you're not going to know. It's not going to be you wanting to have those feelings, but your body's going to react to those feelings. And I get what you're saying, but the thing is, I honestly believe that men and women should explore themselves, because if you don't know how to get to that place on your own, you can't lead a person to get you there. Honestly, and unless a person take, like, men will take their time if they really like you and try to explore your body, but it takes longer when you don't know what you like. It's like a woman can explore a man's body and help him get there, but if he doesn't know what he likes, it's going to take longer. Some people get frustrated. Some people aren't patient, and so look at Slicky. And so it can go either way. I honestly did not have my first orgasm was an accident, and it wasn't with me. I was married. I was married, and so I had never had an orgasm. I mean, of course, I heard of them before, and I didn't know the difference because I was coming. People think because you're coming, you have an orgasm. These are two different things. I don't even know. I mean, I know what happened, but when when the orgasm started coming on, depending on which one it is, it comes from your feet. It just starts from the bottom and works its way up. And I didn't know what the hell was happening.
Hold up, wait. Time.
Mhm.
you see what Misha and Slicky conversation on the other side? Misha asked the question. Restart with Misha question that she asked, and then Slicky responds, and then Misha responds.
Are the men open to having their partner teach them how to manually stimulate them? He said, "Teach me, baby." She told Slicky, "You in the slow class." Misha. He said, "Teach him." She talking about something. You in the slow class.
Well,
you are so
this could be the 101 class. Today is our 101 class.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with 101. But you know, it takes. But I wasn't masturbating then either. I had been with him. We had been together since I was 16, and so he was my first. So I really didn't know I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't in middle school, high school, giving BJs. I wasn't doing none of that.
So how was it an accident?
I'm not gonna say an accident. Well, the reason why I say an accident because I had no intentions, or I didn't go into sex thinking I'm gonna have an orgasm. It was just me trying to get him together, me trying to please him, make sure he was good, and in the midst of me doing that, I end up having an orgasm. And so that's why I call it a quote unquote accident, because I wasn't even thinking about it. I didn't even know nothing about it. I didn't even think about an orgasm. I'm just like, all right, let me, do this. He about to. I'm trying to make sure he good, and I end up having an orgasm. It was the weirdest. I had never felt that, and I was so confused. And he didn't even notice it, I don't think, because he was lost in the sauce, whatever he was doing. And so that was the one time I had it, and I didn't have an orgasm after that until I got into my mid-30s. And I started masturbating then. Because we were going through separation and getting ready to go into divorce. We weren't really having sex. And I was like, you know what? I need to do this. And I was nervous because I'm like, I grew up in church and you don't do those things. You don't do those things. And you are taught. And it's religion actually teaches women that we are only to please men. Sex is not for women.
Right.
Sex is for men. And I don't care what nobody say. And I don't care what nobody say, because it's not only for procreation. People say that sex was just for procreation, but if it was just for procreation, God would have made it feel good. He would have made it feel good for men, and he wouldn't have made it feel good for women. And the Bible wouldn't try to make it seem like that men are the only ones supposed to get pleasure out of sex. The concubines, the queens, the wives, every time you turn around, it's about men. So you don't think that you are supposed to feel a certain way. That's why I kind of call it an accident, because I was not taught. Weezy, you can feel this way too. Weezy, you can do, that's my nickname. You can do this, you can do that. No, I wasn't taught that. I had to discover that on my own.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I feel that when you listen, and again, when you listen to the stories I grew up Catholic, like I said, and the stories from the Bible, for me, I hear it being told from the male perspective, and when it's being told by the male perspective, for me, I'm not really relating to it as a woman. I'm hearing the stories differently. So for me, I went out there and I learned and I educated myself. And yeah, I became a little freaky because I like to feel good. But in my mind, how is being able to know what makes you feel good for me, I like the term GGG. You are giving a good and a game partner within reason. So for that, I mean, I apply the standards I want to make feel good in my partners to myself too, because in my mind, female masturbation is a way of teaching myself what feels good. And then when I'm with another person, I know how I like to be touched. We can make this a little bit more sexy and pleasing and mutually beneficial for everybody, and I don't think for sex, sex, we've been taught, is a way to procreate our species. And I love you, Phoenix, because you said if it was meant just for procreation, why does it feel good? Why does it feel good? And again, why is childbirth one of the most painful experiences a woman can go through in her life?
And still want to have sex. Let me
do it.
read what Misha
right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you done? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut
Yeah,
you off.
you're good. You're good. I was
I
going to say
want.
through the experience of childbirth, and again, the women on the panel here have all had children. I feel the experience of childbirth trauma bonds us with our children in that way, in that
Yeah.
pain is love. So that is what, like, for me, like women, we are taught, and it's our instinct maybe for some women to be like, I am love, through pain, I find love, right? It's twisted. But in my mind, giving birth and having a child, that was the most beautiful expression of love through pain I've experienced as a person in my life.
Ooh, that's a way to describe it. Let me read what Misha put because that's a that kind of goes with what I said. Misha said some African cultures still participate in female circumcision, all for the sake of not cheating and to protect men's pleasure. Yeah, the circumcision is where they actually cut off the women's clitoris. They can also go in and cut or do like an episiotomy, is what they would call it over here, and then stitch them back up. And so once they get ready to get married, their husband will know that they have not had sex yet because those stitches, or they will be closed up some. And so when they have sex, they bleed. And sometimes it can be very painful. They are very selfish, ridiculous acts that are taken over. I understand wanting to keep virginity. I understand wanting to keep purity. But you remove parts of a woman's body to make sure that the man has proof that she's a virgin. And I totally understand that.
But that's because they had arranged marriages then, and a lot of times when they were giving their daughters in exchange for their dowry, and if their daughter has been tampered with, the man could give the wife back and take his money back.
Yeah.
So the parents wanted to make sure that they still practice that in 28 countries over there in Africa and in the Middle East. 28, because I did a thing about it. And that's why they stitch you up. Nobody's supposed to break that but your husband. Could you imagine how painful a woman's wedding night would be? I wouldn't want to have.
They would cry. It's and I understand because we are supposed to maintain our virtue. Men are. It's very funny how it's supposed to be. Women are supposed to maintain their virtue because, like I said, if you go by religion, we are only to please our husbands. Okay. Now, in certain cultures, though, outside of Africa, in Asian cultures, they aim to please their woman. This is what, at the end of the video, we go back. She goes to talk about different,
But they haven't got there yet. So
I know. So that's all I'm about to say. They aim to please the women too. But
question. All right, now Asian women. What I noticed out of all the women of cultural women, Asian women is the only women that I know that go out their way to please the man. They're the only woman I know that does this. When I say please the man, I mean please him, and not just in sex. Like they will put your shoes on, they will clothe you. They would do all that type of stuff. That's what the Asian woman
does. What you mean?
Like a slave.
They're subservient.
Yeah.
That's what you mean, huh?
Yeah.
They are taught to be servant.
Submissive.
It's not submission because there's a difference. That's why people over here in our society get angry. Submission and service.
Thank you.
Different things.
So all right, let me ask you this. That's a good question. Why do women in this culture think they don't should be like submissive to their man?
Because the confusion is they think submission means to be your slave. Yeah. Submission in people's minds. I can't say.
If somebody think submitting to a man, a woman submitting to the man is being a slave, then we really totally fucked up.
We are because the way
because
we have been taught or the way you hear it, it is always, and in church, I'm gonna keep going back. Why submit to your husband? Why submit to your husband? Why submit to your husband? They never read that the man is supposed to submit to Christ. Then
and the woman submit, and the woman submit to the
who submits to Christ.
exactly.
They never say that you cannot, and we all, we supposed to be submissive. We supposed to be naturally submissive, but we are, the way things are, we just can't be. The way our minds are, we just don't. But men aren't submissive either, because if they were submissive, this wouldn't be a conversation.
But y'all missing the one big thing with this submission. You submit with love. You're not supposed to hate what you're doing for. See, that's the difference between being servant, because you can serve a person that can't stand their gut.
Mm-hmm. That's usually what happens over there in that culture.
You're like, oh, let me do this for you. Let me do that. I love you. Let me do this for you.
Submission. This is how I explain it for women, so that you can understand why I have no problem being submissive.
I love this conversation.
Submission is just giving or trusting the person you are with.
Exactly.
With your heart. Trusting the person you are with to be there for you. It's supposed to be an interchanging. You're supposed to be interdependent upon each other. You're supposed to submit to each other. Submitting does not mean this man gonna walk all over you. Submitting does not mean this woman gonna walk all over you. That's not what it is. That's the problem.
And what I
believe the definition.
And see,
we're not gonna just give words our own meanings. Like these words really got meanings. You can look them up.
Yeah, they do.
So it's
and this right here is the reason.
Accepting or yielding to force. Basically these things are forced upon you. Superior force, or you willing, or authority of another person. So they were forced into submission. So we ain't gonna play like submission don't mean what it means.
That's why I said, okay, but look, the force. That is why women have a problem.
That's why
because there's more than one or two definitions to submission. Of course, this is like being dependent or interdependence or independence. There are different terms for independent. Women becoming independent, but to be independent means to not depend on nothing, which means
y'all gonna hate me today. What I'm about to say,
you can't depend on no money.
Y'all gonna hate me today.
That means you can't depend on your if you're independent, that means you don't get money from your job. If you're independent,
y'all about to hate me. What I'm about to say.
What you about to say? The show is about orgasm.
The only one I had a problem about a woman submitting to the man's will is African American women. I done been with a lot of women. Y'all have the only problem with that.
That's not true. I don't like submitting.
Oh, you submit. Hey, look, Michelle, cut it out. You submit all the time. So cut it out, Michelle.
Hold on. But there's a lot
all the time.
Submitting sexually is different than submitting in other ways. Sex is easy. Sex is easy.
I ain't say sex.
No, I'm just saying this because you said she submit. Listen to what I'm saying. This is the reason why women in the Western culture, in our culture, have a problem with the understanding submittance. First and foremost, submitting should not be a demand. You shouldn't be demanding that. And if you have
I'm not saying the submit is demanding.
Listen, hold up. Listen. This is what the problem is here. When you demand submittance from a person, that's the definition that Molly just pulled up. By force.
That's by force.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're demanding it. But if a person has to demand submission, they don't deserve it. Man, woman, whatever.
See, Weezy, you done danced around the whole thing.
I'm not dancing.
Right?
Listen, I'm telling you.
All right, let me say this.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me say this. A woman, is it naturally for a woman to submit to a man, or a man submit to a woman if they care and love each other? But a woman would not go that route. Not a black woman.
Black women.
Well, let me say my experience with a black woman. Let me say that. Okay, and I done dealt with a lot of our sisters, queens. I love my queens. I love my queens. But when it comes to other race,
listen, that's the thing though. That's what you think, because other races of women,
they're different. They're different when it comes. When it comes to
today, King.
They ain't letting
I'm listening.
Weezy ain't gonna let us get in nothing today.
No, I'm not trying to let you. I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to do.
And trust me, I'm not bashing my queens. I love my queens.
I know you're not. But what I'm trying to say
but
is,
I would say this.
Go ahead.
You know why y'all have so much problem submitting and making the king be the king? A woman should make the man should know and feel a certain way with the woman he be with, and it shouldn't be just sex. He should when that woman entered the room and that man and that woman there, that man is supposed to feel the most. He's supposed to feel the best way than any man in the world. That woman's supposed to make him feel that he's the king, he's the head. And black women don't do that.
Oh, I just don't do that. Black women don't do that. Some
I just don't do it. I mean, I've been with a lot of women, black, white, Puerto Rican, and Haitian.
I don't. But Hakeem, another nationality of a woman will submit to you. They may not necessarily submit to their nationality or their race. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. We do have a hard time submitting to our men. I can admit that, and I say that all the time, which is why I always give that definition of submission, because submission is not just somebody trying to make you bow down. It is trusting that person with everything. I am a naturally submissive person, and I submit. You don't have to prove to me that I need to submit to you. I'm just naturally submissive.
So you keep saying, see, and that's the problem. You keep saying we try to make you prove to submitting.
You don't have to. Oh, you just don't get it. Hold on, Hakeem, because you're not listening now. I am naturally submissive. A lot of the conversation that happens amongst black women is, if he don't prove to me that he deserves my submittance, I'm not going to submit. This is what I'm saying. I naturally submit.
So you say if he don't deserve to be submitted, y'all won't submit.
That's
so
not
how you
correct.
determine?
That's what they say, Hakeem. That is the conversation, which is why I go into explaining what that means. It's not about somebody trying to walk all over you. It's not about the man trying to control you. This is why I explain it, because that's not what submission is about. But that's the conversation amongst black women, but it's amongst all other races of women as well. Black women do submit. And just because the women you have dealt with don't submit, or you got to fight with them to submit, does not mean we don't submit. We do. Just
or
like
you're not
other
submitting the way he wants them to submit.
Right. Or other races of women do submit to you. And that's usually how it goes. But I can guarantee you they fight their own men. It happens that way. If you were not raised, and it's not just in the North America or over here in these ridiculous ass states, it happens over there too. They just don't show it. We are here. If you have not lived in other cultures and watched other women treat their men a certain way, then you don't know. Because African women treat their men wrong too. So it's not just here. And African ain't just black. It's a lot of different cultures of Africa over there.
Oh
Asian
my
women
goodness.
we
went all over that.
But Hakeem, you said that other women outside of the black women treat their men right. They submit. And I said, it's not just us who do not submit. This is why I'm saying it. We didn't go all over the place.
He said only the Chinese women submit. He said only the Chinese women submit. Everybody else don't.
They're subservient. They are taught to serve. They're not necessarily taught to be one unit with their man. They're taught to serve him. That's the difference. Most women in that culture don't really have a big relationship, and they are taught to serve their husband and their husband's family. I'm not upset. I'm just trying to get you people to understand. They are taught to serve their husband and serve their children, their husband's family.
This is a touchy feeling. This is a touchy situation.
There's
a touchy situation.
You gotta keep it here. Reese
You know,
said, read the comment. Louisa said, I'm not upset.
I'm not upset.
She never said you was upset.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize. That's what I heard. My bad. She said, "What are Hakeem? What are some? Well, she said something about Hakeem earlier, but she said, what are some examples of a submissive woman?"
Well, I gave to the submissive woman is
what his definition was.
one thing about it, you know, when it comes to our African American women, man, we and you know, it seems like the women, y'all punish us
Easy on fire today
for what we trying to do and not get on the same page, not even trying to get on the same page. It just comes to a point where it's that we have to fight at home, fight in the world, you know, then come back home, fight again, just to prove and show that what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a double fight.
The other people comments. Let's start from the top because Alan came in and he said something. So I don't want to get.
Let's see. Hey, Kenneth. Lee in here. Leander, Leroy, and then Rico.
Yes,
Alan, Kenneth in here. I'm sorry, y'all. I was fussing. My bad. Rico said, "Good morning, Mac show." Lee said, "Hi." Alan said, "Bless up, Mac family." Kenneth said, "I still don't like the term submission slave submitted to master."
Love it.
Alan said, "Michelle, you black, you ain't white." Lee said, "Men submit to men, be it by fear, alpha, and by scores."
Yeah.
Alan said, "Submission is mental. If you can mentally be on the same page and the man is a proven leader and provider, then a woman will follow his lead." Lee said, "Then they look for submission from a woman." Oh, okay. She said men submit. So she was finishing her comment. Slicky said, "I say speak on your own life." Rico said, He also said who and how they were taught. Misha, we just went through her comment. Rico said respect. He also said kings like to serve and be served. Alice said, "This is the Weezy Show. Welcome to the show." It's not. I was
Weezy lit today.
I love it. It's Weezy Show today.
I love it.
I apologize.
And while everybody's laughing and on good, so far we only got to 4 types of orgasms. This is just a recap.
Okay, you want me to finish the comments and we go into the rest of? Okay, he said, Alan said, "I don't say submissive. I'm a king, so I lead. So a woman who see you as a leader will follow." Slicky said, "Great show today." Rico said, "Hakeem open rebuke is better than hidden love."
Say that again.
I like that.
He said, "Open rebuke is better than hidden love."
That's true. I can see that. You got to rebuke that thing.
You good now? Still back in here.
Yeah, I believe that was the last comment. Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Phil Page. I don't know what I brought you in on today, but it's hot today, Phil. Phil, can you take a moment and catch everybody up at who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, his connection probably still no good.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
It like he back home or something. He probably give him a second. See what happens. You better watch this clip anyway. I'm gonna just leave you in here, Phil. Hopefully.
Now, before you play the clip, I'll recap for Alan and the rest of them. We were talking about different orgasms, the different orgasms that a woman have, right? We got through 4. We got through titty touching. We got through clitoral stimulation.
Titty touching.
And we got through G-spot and the A-spot. We up to number 4. We pick it up. Go ahead, Mom. Proceed.
Now, if we go even deeper, we arrive to the magical cervix. And the cervix is the jewel of the feminine body, and cervical orgasms are profound spiritual experiences. These orgasms tend to take you from sex to spirit and be very, very healing and empowering. I have an entire video dedicated just to the cervix because it really deserves not just one video. I could do plenty more videos on the cervix. So I'll link that down below. So if you're curious to explore that part of your body, make sure to check it out. Then
Michelle,
little bit
Right.
we can find our back door to pleasure, the anal orgasm. Anal orgasms tend to feel extremely primal and earthy. This is where you can access your inner
It's earthy.
wild woman. A lot of women tend to moan and scream in a very primal way during anal orgasms. It's also a great orgasm to release shame or inhibition, because our anus in general has so much taboo related to it that having anal orgasms can actually be really beneficial to shed any shame you may have. Next, we have blended orgasms, which is basically a blend of any of the other type of orgasms together. So this is where things can get really interesting. For example, you can have a nipple orgasm while you have a clitoral orgasm, or a G-spot orgasm at the same time as having a cervical orgasm. And I like to think about our orgasmic capacities as kind of making a special dish. So we can add in different ingredients and it will make the overall flavor very different. So in blended orgasms, we can start to really diversify the type of sensations we feel by blending different erogenous zones in our bodies. Then next we have energetic orgasms or tantric orgasms. These orgasms can originate from everywhere, and they don't even necessarily need physical touch. They can come through breath or through meditation or through intention. And this is where we really take the road from sex to love or sex to spirit. These feel like full body orgasms that don't necessarily feel extremely erotic in nature, but they feel extremely blissful on a deep, deep soul level. These are the different types of female orgasms. By no means is this an exhaustive list, but these are the most common types of female orgasms. Now, you may have experienced some of these orgasms before. Some of these may be completely foreign to you. And
Lucy, why are you shaking your head?
Orgasm is a learnable skill. So if you haven't experienced an orgasm yet, it does not mean that you can't. It simply means that you haven't learned how to yet. So through self-pleasuring and through experimenting with arousing
I love that.
different erogenous zones, you can start to expand your orgasmic capacities. And if this is something you'd like to go deeper into, I have an entire online program dedicated to the female.
She said self-pleasuring. I just wanted y'all to make sure y'all heard that.
Orgasms where I get really specific as to how to open up into each orgasm. And it's a very thorough program. It's called The Orgasmic Woman. I'll link it down below. And if you're interested in the G-spot orgasm, I also have.
Okay, now what Molly said goes back to it. He covers all the orgasms. Molly said it's mental, and that's the last orgasm that she met. She's talked about mental. She said this is not even with physical touch. So Molly is correct when he said everything starts with the brain. That's why I kept doing this, the brain. She just discussed 4 more. She added 4 more orgasms to the list, y'all. She added the cervical orgasm. She added the anal orgasm that said was animal and primitive. Then she added number 7, which that's the one I had, was the combination orgasm, you know, with the stimulation. Then she added the eighth one, which is mental.
No, tantric.
And that covers all.
Energetic.
Yeah, that's what she said, energetic. But she said, I define that as mental, because she said the energetic one is the one that's no touch. It's just, you don't need a body, you don't need like, that's the mental one. She said energetic, but that's mental. That's mental.
That there was a series on Netflix last year that went over energetic orgasm. There are different types of ways that you enjoy sex. Most men think they are physical, and they think the only way for them to get aroused or whatever is to be touched or to have intercourse. And tantric sex / energetic sex for men and women. It's not just for women to get off. It's for men and women. And men tend to sway away from it because you have to actually breathe. This is a breathing technique. This is a way where you can touch without touching. So you actually use your energy to connect with this person. And you can massage without touch. It's just different ways to connect tantric or energetic. I've actually had an energetic orgasm before. And
have you tried it?
I need to try it. It just happened. You breathe. It's a lot of you breathe, and when you're connecting with somebody spiritually, it can turn into an energetic orgasm because you are connecting spiritually. You're breathing together, and you tap into the other part of yourself, and that's how it happens.
I'm sorry, I ain't never had no orgasm. Well, I had a combination orgasm. I ain't never had no tantric sex orgasm.
Because you have sex. It's not about the sex. Tantric and energetic is not about intercourse. It's not about rubbing. It's about connecting with a person
spiritually. Level.
Yeah. So that orgasm, it doesn't feel like a regular orgasm. You feel it all over your body, and it kind of feels like an energy going throughout your body. And it makes you cry because you don't.
It's very relaxing.
And that orgasm can last all day.
Look, I'm trying to do it now with y'all.
It don't work that way.
Nah, you have to be in a whole different type of setting.
Hakeem, be quiet. I'm trying to get you.
Oh shit!
look! What's called on that?
What the heck?
I'm trying to connect, Hakeem.
No, it doesn't work that way, ma'am.
It don't. It don't. You're right. It don't. Breathing heavy and.
Molly, I don't know. Molly said who gave him the name. I don't know who gave him the name. These names, I guess they. I don't know who named it. I don't know who gave him the name.
I like old-fashioned sex. Touch me, feel me, caress me, lick me, pull my hair, take my wig off, spin it around the room like a helicopter.
Take your wig off.
Look. When you said my hair,
North
Carolina, y'all waving like a helicopter. I need the physical sex. I need to wrestle with somebody, Hakeem.
No, you need to sit your butt down, cross some legs, and breathe. That's your problem.
I breathe. I was going to give me some sex last night. I had 10. Look, I was going around the club. I got 10 of them on the leash last night. I'm like, oh, shucks. I was like the Harlem Shake. Had to shake them jokers off. Ha, 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 ha.
Teresa, you are so crazy.
I was cutting up last night real bad, y'all. I ain't going to lie. But if y'all come out,
it's great.
On Thursdays, y'all can see some stuff. It's right across the street from the Silver Spring Metro. We even had some people cut the Metro there. It was like, and they had a good time. They left and they got back on the Metro and made it home. Ha, ha. So next week, it's going to be fire. And I didn't even have to pull nothing out of my cleavage.
Not the cleavage.
Oh, no.
But yes.
So Hakeem, what do you
so proud of me?
Don't be showing off any bag on streets. I told you.
Michelle was showing off. Don't nobody say nothing to her.
Michelle, don't be showing off in these streets. You're not allowed. Behave yourself.
Hey.
Huh?
It was called Doc Thursday. That's hilarious over there. Over there, hilarious. But it's also called Doc Thursday, so I had to dress the part.
Both of y'all get in the corner right now. But I was asking Hakeem, how does he feel about the video, or what the last four? Because we talked about the other one.
I mean, she's right. Everything is mental. It should start mental. It shouldn't start physical. It should start mental. If it start mental, then
reinforcement.
I like that.
I'm gonna introduce Hakeem to TMJ in the midday, and that is Hakeem Lyons. Both of them testosterone. We're talking about orgasm.
See you later, Slicky.
Talking about sex, right? Now, brother Hakeem was saying, go ahead, Hakeem.
Nah, I said that for real. The approach for sex, it shouldn't be sex. It should be love. So therefore, if it's coming from a mental place, whereas that will last for the family. Because when you have sex, you taking risk of bringing children into the world. So we got to be kind of responsible. That's how we got a lot of families with no dads there, no mother, because we choose to do sex first, not learn the person, not know the person, not let it be a mental thing. And now we have a whole bunch of kids out here is fatherless and motherless. Let's say both. I'm not gonna put it on the father, but what she said at the end, and you notice the end, the last of the things she said was the purest, was the last thing instead of the first thing.
The mental, yeah.
You notice it was the last thing instead of the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not we start off on the mental, on the spiritual essence from the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
I guess because we're such
people are physical, visual
because
creatures.
a lot of people just want a good working out. They don't want to get mentally attached with nobody.
Amen.
They just want to get worked over. They just want to like going to the gym. That was a good
So
workout.
let me ask you this.
That's not me though.
So let me ask you this.
I want a membership.
So when you got women like that, are they the ones that are so hard to submit?
I don't know.
Possibly.
Because I'm a submissive. When I'm in a relationship, I'm a submissive person, but I submit with love first. That
maybe you think you was submissive.
I do feet and drawing baths, cooking dinner, iron clothes and stuff. And I did it because I love that person.
But that's not that's not only way that you submit though. So you heard what Hakeem said. He said maybe you thought you were submissive. You don't only submit to a person by serving them.
Right. It's a difference.
That's why I was saying earlier, submission.
See, submission. For a woman and a man to be together, right? And to have that ultimate power that is given from the universe to that couples. Okay? It's not about serving, it's about a mental, spiritual essence that you coven that man, and that man is a garment for you, and you're a garment for that man.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I did when I said
no. You kept talking about what you to serve and all that. That's just everyday duties that you're supposed to do. As a man, he's supposed to go out there and work and make sure these bills paid. That's everyday stuff that's supposed to happen.
Yeah, but I'm about to say, that's service. You know,
I submitted. I gave this person everything. I gave this person all of me. Not mentally, physically.
Okay, you said you gave them all of you.
Because I was open.
Open how? How you was? What is your definition of giving them all of you?
I trusted him first of all. I trusted and I believed that he wouldn't hurt me. So I thought that he would be able, that he was going to be my protector, my love, everything. He was going to be my be all. But I worked and came home and gave him my check. I trusted him with the bills. I trusted him that he was going to protect me. He even told me how to dress. I trusted him, like I said, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I trusted that he was going to be the head of that, right there, God, him, then me. And I trusted that process because they was like, when you get a man out of this and out of that, that was the only man that I ever lived with in my whole entire life. The only man that I ever lived with. And he hit me with this. Well, I wish you didn't love me so much. What does that mean?
Oh, that's nauseating.
I was a dumb dummy. At that time, because I had the wrong person. I gave the wrong person king worship.
I don't think you're dumb for doing that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with wanting to be the person, be somebody's person, or wanting to be a person. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with loving and giving, just like men do it too and get hurt. Yeah. So it's not just a woman or men thing. We both do it to each other. We try to give each other, love each other. But when you get older, as you mature, I'm not gonna say older, as you mature and understand and take accountability for your part in things, you learn that you have to learn how people love and how they receive love. You're giving your all may not have been what he needed or how he took what love means to him. And him trying to give you his all may not be how you received and gave love.
He didn't try to give me his all. That's what the problem was.
But that's your definition. That might not be his definition. and his definition might not be yours. That's the important part of having these conversations. Submission does not mean idiot. Okay,
Correct.
that's a problem. That does not mean drop all your common sense.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to do that. All of us, men and women.
We do.
We tend to do that.
I was being open and honest, but he
And
wasn't being honest.
There's nothing wrong with
It's-
that. That just means that he
Was not the right
he
person
has
for
to
you.
deal with, and we all do that. It's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why, if you want to be in a relationship with a person, why do we feel that we're stupid for giving or actually participating in the relationship because you get hurt? You're supposed to do that. If you're in a relationship and you really care about this person, you're going to give. You're going to want if you actually care about them, you want what's best for them. You want them to want what's best for you. And just because it worked out does not mean that you're dumb for doing it.
Correct. And one thing I want to add that I learned is sometimes when we've gone through a series of similar relationships and we've seen the same pattern playing out with person after person, maybe it's also time for me. I did this for myself. My picker was broken. My picker, the type of people I was picking and going after, those were people that I was looking at and were like, ooh, I like what I see. I like the potential. But again, I was putting a lot of what I wanted into that person. I was picking what I wanted, not so much as what could have been the better selection for me. And again, that's what I'm saying. Like listening to Hakeem when he's talking about like submission is a funny word because there is emotion attached to it. When you hear, I have emotion attached to it when I hear that word. I could not say the word obey at my and when I got married the second time, because for me it was degrading. It was a degrading word that I was going to have to say obey to the man that I was marrying, but he wasn't going to have to say it to me. So again,
No. It goes both ways.
It goes.
It's supposed to,
It
Hakeem.
does go both ways. And the word submission is a powerful word, not to be taken lightly, because like Althea said, it takes trust, it takes faith, it takes love, and it takes hope that when you submit your being, your presence, your pride, your spirit to a person, they're going to treat it with love and respect and be patient and kind to it. So that and again, when you just rattle off the word submission, and it is used a lot sexually because I live in that lifestyle, and I've heard people, I am not a sub. I will not be a sub. I am not a sub right off the bat, like my beautiful soul sister here at Phoenix is. I can be submissive, but that is not my natural state because I am on guard. I'm a woman. I got the crown tattooed on the side of my hand for a reason, because I want people to see that I am proud. I have an ego. I know my worth. So eventually I will.
You are proud. You have an ego.
That will recognize her king when he arrives. But until that day, I'm walking around with the crown on my head.
So, but basically, we all saying the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, just in different ways.
Just in different ways. That's all I'm saying. And the reason, now I'm gonna drop the bomb. I'm gonna drop the bomb on everybody, right?
Drop the bomb.
And the reason I say this is,
Hakeem, I want to know, have you ever submitted to anybody?
Have I submitted to anybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
You, Tracy, you too?
Tracy, like, don't put me in this conference.
I can't hear what you saying.
Time, Tracy. Let's hear it.
He's muted.
I'm about to drop that bomb here when Shima drops. So go ahead and drop that bomb, baby. Now, what's the bomb you got?
Go ahead, Hakeem.
Well, and the reason I say this is because that's why the situation that we all in right now, because we take sex and we put it into a wrong place instead of a spiritual place. So that's why we have all the problems. And the reason is because of the mental thinking of our women. Where's that? And then this the bomb right here. Why do y'all take pictures now just with your butt showing and not with your face?
I don't know why they do it, because I don't.
For attention.
I don't.
Right, but for it's sexual attention. Right?
Yeah, because that's easy.
You would do it, Reese.
Like I said earlier, sex is easy, and like you say, Hakeem, that's what to lead with. Because again,
I didn't hear my turn yet. Can I get a turn in?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, look. Everybody talking about the submission bullshit, right? I can't do this. He ain't my king, y'all. That's bullshit. Everybody submits to their job on a regular. You
There you
submit
go,
to your
bro.
9 to 5 on a regular. And you don't give your boss no shit about you submitting to get your goddamn check.
That's what I
There
said.
you go, bro.
So don't be worrying about submitting to no damn man like no man ain't worried about submitting to no woman. Because the man want his woman to be just that, his woman, and his everything is ride or die, whatever. Sign up for that don't require a lot. It's just that now, since 2000 hit, and this new empowerment bullshit been popping on, women been on bullshit. Show me what the lie is.
The lie
Show me what the
is
lie is.
the age difference. Those women been on bullshit. The ones that's taking pictures of their asses and clits and all that. And
Man,
sending
them
it
grown
to
ass
Reese,
women, what are you
if you
talking
got
about?
an ass, you be taking pictures of it.
And
Them grown ass
Yeah,
women. We
you
talking
be
about
taking
women in
pictures
the
of it.
40s and 50s. What the hell you
I'm gonna
talking
say
about?
booty pics been out for a long time,
But
Reese.
I'm saying I'm celibate. Well, every woman ain't the same. He said this woman is the woman that. He said, tell me what the lie is. The lie is everybody's different. You can't judge me by the one you slept with last night. You can't judge me by the one you slept
That
with.
ain't what he said.
Everybody's different.
That ain't what I said.
That ain't what he said.
You said they
See,
take
that's one of the reasons we got a problem with women now. Y'all don't fucking listen.
Yeah.
I heard what you said.
I don't think none of
You
us
said,
listen
tell
for
me
real.
why the women, WOMEN, that's plural.
Hey, look,
That's singular.
hey, look, and you fit right in that box.
I don't fit in no box.
What he said, Reese, was if we can submit to our jobs, why can't we submit to them?
Right.
And that goes. That's the hold on. That's what he said. But listen, that question. Hold on. That's reversed as well. If men can submit to their jobs, how come they can't submit to their women? Do you
Reese,
know?
ain't nobody said, man,
No. I know that. Listen, I reversed it because that is never the conversation. The conversation is never men
Women
submitting to
have
their
always talking
women.
about they not submitting to no man, right?
Yeah, why they say that?
A man always shows up with his pocketbook, his checkbook, or whatever.
Exactly.
He always shows
A,
with his what?
a man shows his affection a lot of times through his wallet, keeping the lights on and doing bullshit for the woman.
That's not submission. Just like Hakeem said earlier, a man works, he does this. A woman does certain things, so that's still not submission. That's service.
Why ain't it submission? I'm saying he's submitting his check.
Submission takes vulnerability. That's submission.
You know what? Fuck all them big words.
Ain't no big. Don't start it, Tracy. Do not start. No, but for real, you know, again, Hakeem said it not too long ago. A man is going to provide, he's going to work. A woman is going to serve or whatever. But I mean, you know, do certain things. That's service. Submission is giving of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually to this part and physically. But physically, you're supposed to be a part of it.
No words. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break it down right now. I'm gonna break it down.
Here we go.
When it comes to submission, okay, of a man and a woman, a man shouldn't have to never find out or think on what's on your mind. It should be on the table. It should be in that man's mind. That man's what's on his mind should be in that woman's mind. Okay, we submitting our minds together to come up with a common goal and building a kingdom for us on this earth. So therefore, a man shouldn't have to say, "What's wrong, baby?" Oh, nothing, ain't nothing wrong, and then you go about your way. And you, because one thing about and this is submission. Man have to protect the woman of her insecurities.
Hey, I
women
got
have a lot of
insecurities. Shop.
You see what I'm saying?
What did you say?
Women have a lot of insecurities. So men have to protect their insecurities. Okay? Make her feel like, look, ain't nothing that you can't tell me, ain't nothing you gonna do that I'm gonna think of you differently. Okay? That's man submitting to the woman and accepting everything that she has. But the woman got to be open and willing to share that and not have a man keep going like, what's wrong, baby? What's wrong? And knowing something wrong, because one thing of the language is the body language, the first language to mankind.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, submitting. Y'all hold things to yourself and y'all don't submit to that man in your thoughts, in your will, in your love. Y'all just don't do it. Y'all protects that. That's what I'm talking about.
You know why I'm smiling?
No, y'all.
Because I have a feel-good moment because I went back to a time when I'm listening to Hakeem where he didn't have to say what's wrong, because there wasn't nothing wrong there in relationship. And you're right, we did read each other's mind. Like it was like the need was there. It wasn't it was meeting each other's needs. And before he could say I need this and this and that, I already had it for him. And before I could tell him or I need or I wanted or whatever, he already had it for me. It was like we was on the same page. We was really, really in sync. And if we got out of sync, we was good for a long time till other people started coming into our relationship. Other people start feeding him doubts. Other people, because when people see you happy, some people come in cheap clothing and say they friends when they really want to destroy you. So people was like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. She's doing this and she's doing that. And when we was just us two one-on-one, oh man, we had a ball. And I didn't mind doing anything for that man because it was out of love. I had to trust him enough to say, here, I worked hard, 2 jobs. Here, pay these bills. Here, because he was sitting home because he allegedly he was ill, allegedly. And I left the comfort of my home to come cohabitate with him so we could build together. So that's submission. That's love. See, and it was pure. And I guess what? I didn't mind working the 2 jobs. I didn't mind coming home. I didn't mind stopping to get with because I was like, oh, he needs this. Boom, he got it. Oh, before he could say, hey, I'm all out of razors. I'm like, look in the closet shelf on the second shelf. Boom, already got it because I'm paying attention to his mental, physical, and his spiritual needs. I was there when his head was down. I'm pushing his chin up to say, keep your head up, black man. And we used to call each other king and queen. He used to say I reminded him of Queen Latifah. That's why he was like, oh, you just like Queen. And to this day, if you call me, what's up, Queen? He still referred to me Queen. And I used to call him King. We played those roles. Then the snake started sliding in. And people start, oh, she doing this, she doing that. Then people say, oh, he doing this, he doing that. And the next thing you know, we had strife and envy in our loving relationship. And the next thing you know, our relationship or that love wasn't strong enough to keep us together. Just me pulling on one side wasn't enough. You pulling on one side is going to give and weak on the other side. Both sides got to pull and work that thing out. That's all I'm saying. So about the men being submissive and the women being submissive, everybody need to be submissive in that nature and in that manner. And it start with the loving. We get back to the loving.
And it starts with yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust another person. And you're not going to be able to give yourself to that person. So it's going to start with you.
Good talk, everyone.
Good.
And Molly said, Misha said that, okay, earlier she said, this go back to my question, what are the men's definition of a submissive woman? She also said, I personally don't, I think this is when you were talking about the butt pictures, Hakeem. She said, but I believe it all goes back to them being accepted, desired by men. Kenneth said, capitalism making everyone submit. Molly said, all relationships will be tested. He also said, that's another child, not a man. And then he said, triggers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, before Hakeem, I was looking at, I like your picture. on your thing. It says stay focused and win. That's cool.
That's cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So before we get out of here, this has been an interesting Freaky Friday. We want to go into the topic of orgasms. How many orgasms do the female have, and how many of them do the men know about? To being submissive and all that good stuff. And the
submission got a lot to do with orgasms too, Reese.
She was chewing Hakeem ass out. If y'all
I was not.
She was all in Hakeem, and
I was not.
She was blowing bubbles with Hakeem ass. She was chewing so hard. She was going.
Look, are you taking Molly job today and instigating? Because you know that.
He was chewing. You know you was chewing. Hakeem, are you hurt? Are you okay, Hakeem?
Hurt about what?
She was,
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Don't be
hurt about what?
They said love.
She said love Hakeem's picture.
It's really nice.
Hakeem. I need to call him.
The lines done collection.
What you say? Let me see your shirt, Molly.
Eagle.
Lines then.
How come? Where's our shirt, Hakeem? You got to sew two of them together for me.
I got my hat. You know what I'm saying?
Where's all my paraphernalia?
Man, he got his cane, man. He got a trunk full, man.
This month.
I know this month coming out. August, July.
Yeah, I got some stuff coming in.
Okay. Yeah, Weezy was on
I got some more stuff
today,
coming in.
man. Weezy's on fire. So I guess next time, the next Freaky Friday gonna be how many different ways a man can bust a nut. Like that's crazy. Girls can have 100 different orgasms. We got one way. We just shoot that motherfucker. No matter. Yeah, one way. You can get it out different little methods, but I think it's the same feeling to me. Like y'all got this joint that go through your whole body, just the left side, numb your legs. That's crazy. Y'all
it was crazy. So when a man come and orgasm, is that the same?
Man, we just come. I don't know. We just come. You gotta ask some gay dudes. Come out before you
come. What's that?
I guess it's called pre, right?
Is that the orgasm or is that the nut?
I don't know, man. You gotta ask some.
I gotta ask the men.
Nah, you gotta ask Buddy that was telling you about everything else.
A buddy that was telling me about everything else. What buddy?
I ain't gonna put your business out there.
Michelle
said she had to dip all time for me to run some errands. She'll chat with us later. IMP.
Who told? What buddy am I talking to? What man?
Well,
Reese always acting stupid. She just like to hear men talk nasty.
Oh, look, my phone rang. I missed
She
the
said,
whole
what is the come before the come? Like, what is the game before the game? It's the pre-game, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, I know the pre-come, but y'all said that orgasms and coming are two different things.
It
is.
It
was the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. It's two different things.
Yeah, I said for us, I don't know. Like, I don't know if men can have orgasms.
Y'all can.
And it's probably some like gay shit they be doing. But
no, it's not.
I know we come regular, like we just come the same. Ain't no different way.
No, but y'all can have a full body, and it doesn't have to be any gay things happening. You can have a full body. You know,
you gotta grip it a certain way, loose grip, tight grip, twist.
I don't know.
But it's gonna come out the same way.
Talking about some twist grip.
It was talking about to the left, to the right.
Coming or not? That's gonna be the next Freaky Friday question. Is orgasm and coming the same thing? And what's the difference? Because I don't know.
Orgasm is more for the it shakes the body and releases. Just nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Come gonna happen whether you want it to happen or not.
Want it to happen or not. But the orgasm it's gonna do something to the body.
Yeah.
It's gonna make your body so orgasm is that spiritual?
Huh?
But the energetic tantric is spiritual.
That feeling, yes. Cause that's why everybody chases. That's why everybody chases.
Yeah, because it's in the muscles and everything.
Yeah, that's why everybody chases. Hey, you ever seen somebody say, you know, they just coming because they chasing the thrill. They chasing the feeling.
I only had that feeling one time. in my life that shook the walls, that really shook me up.
That's because you need to shake yourself up, but that's for
What
another.
it
That's
is.
for another day.
Look, I'm not going past no ridges. I'm not doing
You don't have to do all of that because I ain't doing that either.
I'm not doing. No, I ain't
You
doing
know what? A woman intense. How can I say? The vagina. Her whole everything is at the beginning. Everything is at the beginning. You don't have to go all the way down there. You can caress the woman's body. It not going deep. It's not about going deep and all that. It's about pleasure and pleasuring the body and making a body does what you want it to do when you up there playing in the playground.
And one thing that she missed, which I'm very surprised that she missed, you can orgasm. The labia has a lot of nerve endings there too, and because the clitoris is like a horseshoe in a way, the clitoris goes behind the labia, and you can orgasm from labia touch too.
And the clitoris go in that hood. Get that hood. You can get the hood, the outside, just like the ear. You clean the outside of the ear, go all along the outside of the vajayjay.
I don't want to hear you because you won't do what you're supposed to do to make sure you had this. I don't want to talk to you.
It ain't no fun. I know I'm touching me. It's like this. Yeah, that's good.
So you don't know how to
Reese
use your imagination.
Y'all believe Reese. Y'all better stop believing her. Don't let her gas y'all. We don't know Reese behind them walls, man.
And what she doing?
We all individuals. We all
She might get both.
Before we touch anybody, we touch ourselves. Now she letting like she touch anybody before she touch herself. I would never.
Some people are like that. I was like that. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, at one point when you was a kid, we grown.
I didn't start masturbating until I got in my mid-30s.
You still probably tried.
No, I didn't.
I want the man. What's
wrong? Ain't no way in the world you ain't touch that with JJ.
Yeah, you in a relationship.
When I bathe, yeah. But I was because I was very into the church. I was raised like really strict in the church. We weren't allowed to do that. Right? It took a lot for me to start to do that. It took a lot.
To be alone.
I was still married. We was going through our process, but I was horny too. Okay. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? So I'm going to do it because I ain't about to be. Because I'm not out in these streets. I'm not about to be out here just sitting on things. Hell no. So, I had to.
Look, I'm not touching myself at the moment. I clean it with the shower head and all that stuff. But
I don't believe it. Any women that got toys and all that stuff, I know they play with this stuff.
No, I have toys.
You don't need a toy.
I don't mess with myself because I don't get that feeling. It's not pleasurable to me. I would rather.
Y'all got 1,000 different feelings y'all can get.
You don't need a toy.
Caress me and undress. I would leave that up to.
Yeah, okay. It makes sense.
I would leave that up to the
man. He's saying the video.
I would leave it up to the man to feel.
You don't listen, lady.
I can't blow on my own neck.
Reese.
Blow on my own neck.
How would you tell somebody else how to do it if you don't even know how? How would they know?
But he's doing
whatever they do.
Well, I'd be like, oh, that feel good. I didn't know that was my weak spot. I didn't know that the small of my back was my weak spot until he found it. You see what I'm saying?
Is a lot of y'all weak spot is around the neck and the spine, going low.
Those are erogenous zone.
Fishbone watching Boney Roney. You said you was coming on today, Boney Roney.
I didn't find that on myself. The men found that on me.
That's what we need to ask. Reese, Boney Roney. Which Reese has spat?
Y'all play too much. He
knows more than
that. And that's another thing. I know how to go without, because I've been without. So it's not like a hard thing. Like some women can't go without sex. I can.
Because you play with yourself.
I am. Because I don't want.
No, you don't have to play with yourself to go. Sometimes you gotta know how to shut that thing down.
And if I ain't working me out, to go. Oh, now I need a dingling. Oh, I need some dick. Oh, now I ain't working myself up in a frenzy, so I go out here and lay with anybody. No, Well, I have a dream first. And then my dream,
Okay, MLK.
and then my dream.
Okay, MLK.
All right, Martin Luther King.
Oh my God, the things they do.
Martin Luther.
Y'all ain't never had a dream and woke up feeling good.
Look,
woke up
man,
refreshed.
I just never met another human being that don't play themselves.
I know one. I know one outside of Reese.
In a relationship, even if you're in a relationship, I'm just saying.
When you're in a relationship, you play with yourself more. When you in a
That
relationship,
I would assume that,
That's
but
not
you got
true.
some people that would say that they don't. You know, and that
because
be
the
weird.
man always said, "Play with yourself. What you doing? What you got on? Rub it
They
for
say
me.
that all the time, and you never did it, then, huh?
Rub it for me. Let
You
me
knew they
see
say
it.
it all the time. See, that don't even make sense. They say it all the time, and you never did it.
That's nasty. Ain't no picture of my cat floating around on no internet.
You ain't got
But
to
it's a
have a
picture. It's a
out
picture of my
there.
junk
He
floating
gonna take a
around on the
picture.
internet.
He was asking for pictures.
Hakeem.
He was asking for pictures too, huh? Oh my goodness.
Hakeem said
Hakeem
said his phallus is floating around the internet.
Oh, it probably
But
is.
there might be a movie because I think one of my boos videotaped me when he went.
I know Misha. Misha said she's known you for 25 years and you don't mess with her. I can tell she don't, Misha.
Man.
I know she don't because if she did, she'd be a lot calmer. Her anxiety would be non-existent.
Man,
I'm telling you.
Misha, just put your business out there, man.
We see put her business out there.
Quarter of a century she known you, and you ain't tell your best friend what you be doing. She lying to you too, Misha. You fell for that for 25 damn years. You a woman. Just think, what would you be doing in her position? What would you be doing? Like, that's all I be thinking of. Like, ain't nobody that powerful. I recently stopped eating meat. Stop eating meat. You can let go sex. You can let go eating meat. Stop. Stop all that.
Marty, what you said is so correct. That's why I don't eat it. Because see, I know I make babies.
To live.
I make babies like I'm a baby maker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord.
I'm sure my 8-year-old, I did it to her mother one time. The first time we did it, she got pregnant.
You got
the
some
very first one.
You got some push behind your stuff.
This man is fertile.
Right. So therefore, I'll be having kids. I want to just keep having kids without being married. So I had to shut it down.
So you're gonna get all the younger ones because eventually the wife ain't gonna be able to push out no baby.
I'm not even thinking about the babies. It's just I just need a good queen. That's it. I'm not even. I got enough kids to go around. Huh?
That's all. Just get somebody that can't have kids.
No, I ain't thinking about. No. I'm not gonna be sad.
You gotta
I'm
get a
looking for
point
somebody
in
who
life
don't
where you
can't
can
make
just have
kids.
fun now.
You can have
Don't
kids,
forget.
Reese? Can you have kids, Reese? Damn, that's a coincidence. That's great.
Hey, you know what, Molly? Hey, Molly.
I'm just asking. It helped Reese out one way, help you out for having all these
Hey, bro, I've been around you enough times now to know when you started, Joe.
When he started his look at him, he always started. Come on, man, that's crazy. What a coincidence.
Hey, that worked out both ways.
But you know, Molly, listen. You can't do it. I was married and we weren't having sex because he was dealing with depression. And I was not masturbating. And I damn near went crazy. And the longest we went, and I had to lay next to this man every night. He had to lay next to me. Was almost a year without sex. No masturbation, no nothing. So if I can lay next to a man or a person can lay next to a man that you used to having sex with regularly and not masturbate and not have sex, it's possible. Okay.
Hey, what you gonna do right in front of him?
I was masturbating.
Like the night gonna be the night. You kept wishing like the night might just be the night.
No,
or
but
you knew for a year, like he was gonna say, look, it's gonna be almost a year before we have sex.
No, what it
you
was.
Ain't know, so every night you assume.
No, I didn't.
This shit might change.
No, because that wasn't his first time. No, you know I wanted it, but but I knew because he suffers with depression. I knew that it may be a long length of time.
But can't
That's
you
when,
take it in the sleep
it
when you
was
sleep?
regular. I wouldn't do that because no, I wouldn't do that because I felt like I was violating him because I know he was suffering mentally, and so
I'd have been violating my husband.
I could because I know he was suffering. I knew that he wouldn't be into it. If we couldn't kiss or hug, if he couldn't spend time with us with outside of sex, me for the kids, I know he wouldn't enjoy the sex, and he would only been doing it because I wanted it and I didn't want it like that. So I would wait until he was ready. Lord, I suffered. I cried a lot. I was frustrated. I was angry, but I was because that was my husband, and I understood what he was going through. I was very patient.
That's good.
And so I had to learn to shut her off because she has a problem. And so now I can just shut her off because if I don't shut her off, I'll be going crazy. Because I'm not one of the women who just gonna go out here and hop on everything that gets hard. No, I'm not.
They got their calls. All the girls got a little list.
What you shutting off, Weezy?
You know what I'm shutting off? This girl got to go to sleep. She got to
I'm gonna sign Hakeem up for my pull-out classes, man. Like, that's all you gotta work on.
Gotta have that step back.
Hey, bro.
Step back.
I don't know why everybody talking about the pull-out game because why would you want to pull out just something to feel so good? I just don't understand.
Mental.
See, look at you. That's your problem right now. That's your problem.
It ain't the girl, it's you.
Why I'm pulling out?
He talking about the first time.
So you don't get pregnant.
You stayed in, of course.
No, actually, I was in, but I called myself coming out. But
no, you waited. You waited to the last second, thinking you had that power. That's what your ass thought.
These women, man.
That's
what they say when niggas trap these girls. They get them pregnant, man.
Right after.
Oh, and what women need to know is you can get pregnant from pre-cum too.
Exactly.
You don't know that.
Shit.
That's why I asked if the pre-cum was an orgasm.
No, it's not an orgasm. That just happened.
You know, it's the two different things. When I thought it was just one thing. Because we don't got no pre-cum.
No, pre-cum that just comes out, but that's not an orgasm. That's
Who named this shit cum? Hey,
I don't know. Somebody was born.
The shit comes out.
So the pre-cum come out before the cum.
I guess that's what it was.
Can a man just pre-cum and not have the other cum?
Yeah. It happens during sex. It can happen during sex. Yeah.
What's up,
no, I mean, like without the sex.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good
like real horny and somebody playing with you, yeah.
Or if you get them aroused,
like
you conversation that can happen. Yeah, that's just like us.
Stop playing like you ain't there.
Yeah, just like we get
You've been telling me all the stories.
That mental is.
I think
Hakeem, you got big echo over there. I don't know what's going on.
I've seen pre-cum after sex because they said that they ain't got no more cum left.
Hold on.
That's not pre-cum.
After sex. It's after cum.
That's just what's left. It's just the rest of it coming out.
Oh, why you looking at that?
We ain't supposed to look at it.
He ain't had no rubber on, huh?
Even when you take the rubber off.
We not supposed to look at that.
I look at it all. I be like this. And y'all know
she got it all up. That's why I was asking. Most times if she looking, she getting it up for something.
I'm looking at all the bumps. I'm even looking down the shaft, that little hole. I'm like, what's in there?
OMG.
You remember, I can see this screen. You talking about you looking down the hole.
When it's mine, and when they say it's mine.
Y'all got any questions for these ladies before we get off? Butterman, Fishbone. There's a few people watching. We got 7 people watching. Misha probably got a question.
No, Misha is fun. She said she love her. I know that's right.
Oh, I know. Misha probably got all types of stories.
Let me tell you, years ago when we was young, I'm gonna tell the story, Misha. There's a place, and because she was telling me the Mastermind Domain. That's when I was dating Nicholas' father. This is when I was dating the 28, the one that when I was 28.
You ain't got no names, no.
I'm not gonna say no names, but I'm taking it back.
You just said that.
We was working at Howard together. So she took me to this place called Treasure Chest. It was somewhere in DC. It was a novelty shop, and they had this thing called the Realist. It felt like a real ding-a-ling. and she got the brown one. It looked like a real ding-a-ling, and it had a suction cup on it where you could play with it by yourself. That was hard. I kid you not. And I'm like, no, because I never had a vibrator before or dildo. Because I was told, to get control, you to do this and that. I bought my first dildo. It was a brown hard piece of plastic, and it was awful. I'm like, that was disgusting. How do women play with that? And it was painful. I'm like, I don't, So back in the day, yeah, I tried it. My girl got the realest, and I said, ain't no way. So
your girl got the what? The realest. Hold on. Hold on, I'm lost. What you mean she got the realest?
That's what the dildo was called.
Oh, I thought you like tried to test her out and you liked it and you was like grading it or something.
No, that was her thing. I got the wrong one. Because I'm like, I thought all of them was the same, but they're not. See, I tried to touch myself. That's how come I know I do not like it. No, I tried to master my domain. That's how come I know I do not like it.
And that's all right.
You're not good at mastering yourself. Then you can't get mad if no man can't. I don't want to hear you complain. He couldn't do this. You can't even do it. If I was your nigga, I'd be like, girl, you can't even make yourself come on.
Marley, but that's true.
That's like a dude can't make himself come and cry to girl. You can't even get me off. Nigga, you can't get you off. So something must be wrong. So if somebody can't get you off, it might be a problem. Be like, you can't get you off.
I got off. I was 28 years old, and I had a combination. And I couldn't control the feeling because I was focusing on this touch, that touch. He licking it, he sticking it, he touching, and he tweaking. And my mind just went poof. I couldn't control and focus on one area because I was told.
So that means you that means you.
But let me tell you, I had a couple of cocktails. And I was loose. I was relaxed.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Because you like to be in control. You can't be in control during sex, Reese. That's why when he did that, you could not figure out which way was going and coming, and you got the coming and going. So you have to learn how to release yourself, and that is how you're going to be able to orgasm more. You can't concentrate during sex. If you're concentrating, you're not enjoying. You have to be able to lose yourself in the moment. You can't be concentrating. You can't be thinking. You can't be having whole conversations. What is he doing? No, you got to let him do.
See the man, right? See, the man's supposed to concentrate. The woman's supposed to be relaxed.
Yeah, because if a man relaxed, he's coming.
Right.
Okay.
See, for me not to come, I'll be thinking of some stupid shit. Damn, look at that roach on the wall. You know, look at that roach. I'll be thinking of some stupid shit. Man, why that rabbit got clothes on and shit? You know what I'm saying? I'll be thinking about all kinds of
shit. About what you gonna eat later.
Me in my eye. So that's why the man look away.
Yeah, because if they look at you, if they actually take in what's going on, they are going to explode. Men are visual creatures. So when they touch,
because when he was ready to look away, I'm like, you don't look at me.
You ain't listening.
Yeah, she ain't even let her finish.
A man is visual. So he listens. So him listening to you moan, him feeling your body, him feeling you inside, him doing all these things, if he doesn't concentrate, will explode fast. And then that's why women talk about these minute men, when in actuality it does feel good to them. We don't know what the inside of our vaginas feel like. They do. So if they don't have the chance to get themselves, like catch their reins, they're going to explode because it feels good. But if you had the time, if they had the time to like Hakeem said, he think about stupid stuff, so he can focus, though it still feels good to them. Once he has that focus, he can last longer and please you more. But it also goes before the intercourse too. But you as a woman have to learn how to let go and allow the man to do what he's doing. You can also participate because you should be wanting to please him and touch him, and I know you do want to please and touch him as well. But the thing is, if you lay back or open yourself up and allow yourself to enjoy every feeling, every moan that he did. If you're listening to him, close your eyes and allow him to do what he's going to do to you. You will get every sense of satisfaction, but you can't be sitting there thinking. You can't be sitting there trying to compete in the bedroom. If you're competing in the bed, y'all playing. You could be playing, you could be wrestling, you could be, having sex. But when it gets to the point when it gets sensual, you have to submit. People hate that word, but you have to be vulnerable and allow yourself to be given to that man.
Now y'all gonna lose the word. Now you can use the word.
Hakeem, I use the word. I use the word. Don't play with me. I use the word, and I said it earlier. It's not just sexual, but people or people tend to understand submission when it comes to sex. I am I'm submissive naturally. But some people don't understand that doing sex, especially if you want to experience sex or love making properly, you do have to release yourself. You gotta let go.
Release yourself.
Then Hakeem, what time you coming over here again today?
Oh man.
Oh. Misha said that they be thinking about Chinese arithmetic. Yeah, they be thinking about all types of stuff, but then they don't. They're gonna let it go. And then y'all gonna be fussing. Y'all better stop. And ladies, before we get out of here, stop giving these men a hard time. Damn.
Yeah, man. That's why I said this. If you can't make this self come, you can't complain about a man making it.
Like for real. Sometimes
you can't complain about a woman making you come.
Yeah, sometimes that first time just be them so excited, but then give them another chance. Give them another chance. Give them another chance. Submission is not just a woman on her knees. Yes, that's true.
And that's right. It's not about a woman on her knees.
Misha, that was your submission? How long you was in this submission?
You know what? Molly, you always
There's some triggers out here today.
Always
I gotta see this Misha. Because she telling on herself.
You met Misha at the Juneteenth event.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to support her, the Morning Mac Show. That's our sponsor.
All right.
We got one, but we do need more sponsors, y'all, out there. We need the partnership over some product placement. Come on. Morning Mac Show. Get in on the ground level so you could be soaring while we soaring.
I know that's right, Misha.
Hanging in the wind.
She said one of her many techniques.
On her knees.
Hey now.
Oh, I thought you said you.
And if being on your knees make you feel some type of way, lay on the bed.
How you get it? They stand, late, sit. They don't care.
Sit in the chair. Shit.
And do you know? Now watch this. Do you know the tissues in a person's mouth is the same tissue in the vagina?
That's what I heard.
I ain't know that. I learned something.
Yeah.
That's why we love here so much.
But my mouth don't make me come. I mean, you can't make me come.
Nah, that's just you. Some women does.
That's not for us. That's for them.
Some women does. When they get ahead, they will come.
Yeah, that's true. Because you gotta lose yourself in that moment again. You can't.
You must got a really nice one.
Huh?
No, you can lose. A woman can come from giving a man's head. If you enjoy, you gotta really get into it. If you get into it, you can. You get excited and you come off of it.
So it's nice because I've enjoyed some nice moves.
You know what? Ain't nobody playing with you.
All right, man. Cam, hurry up over there, man. We out, man.
Molly, boy, you crazy as hell, boy. You always sticking that in, boy.
Have a good weekend, man. We be back same time as always, 10:30 to 11:30.
Happy 4th of July. Oh, wait a minute.
12:30.
You got a show before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we good.
It's the last day of the month, y'all. June. Tomorrow is July.
And give a shout out to my son. He graduated. He ready to get his apartment.
Oh.
So give a shout out to Carl Jr.
Carl Jr. Congrats, man. Congrats to Lord JR, young Hakeem. What's his name? You didn't give him another name other than Carl?
You know, he got it. He got it. I just call him Little Carl. That's all.
Okay.
Oh, Big Head.
Go ahead, CJ. Carl Jr. Go ahead.
Look, she already named him CJ. I see y'all in the back.
All right.